Hey Kelly, how are you doing? Good.
And just for your information, we did appoint Dr. Heather Lick to that position this morning officially.
Okay, good.
So she is.
I'll let her know then.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, you can see the volume for May. Outpatient, 3,023. We had 11 inpatient, 74 through the emergency room. 527 served through the rural health clinic. 14 surgeries. 79 on the specialty clinic. Average length of stay was 2.14. Swing bed average length of stay was 6. Acute daily census 1.14, and swing bed average daily census 2.6. So, and since you appointed Dr. Lick, as you all know, she is full-time with us now, which is a great thing.
Yeah, we're excited.
I'm so excited to have her here. She's a great doc. She gets along well with everybody. She knows how to relate to people, and that's the most important thing, I think, for us.
Well, that's how you build
point.
that trust.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're, I think, in good shape moving forward. Been talking with another doc, possibly be here maybe about this time next year. So just kind of feeling our way through and getting a few things. I'll let you know about that one the closer we get. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I went in to see her and I was impressed.
Yeah, she is very knowledgeable, and
A lot of people compare her to Dr. Miller. So.
yeah, I've heard that comparison made. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's willing to see tons of patients.
She is.
So
Yeah.
hey, I think it's going to work out great for you.
Yeah. So, no, I think we're on the right track now, Terry, and everybody, and I think we'll be doing well here. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Kelly. I don't think we've got
Okay.
anything else unless you guys do.
Thanks. Good to see everybody. And,
Yeah, nice to see you back.
yeah, thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Enjoy your
Okay.
day.
See y'all.
Good morning, Don. I think we're ready for you.
Well, I wanted to come to the board because I was unaware of the fact that I was still on all of the county signature cards.
How did you discover that you were?
I went to my personal bank to change my name,
Oh, okay.
and they brought up all of my accounts to change my name.
Wow.
So
So all the banks.
So then I went from my personal bank across the street to the other bank, confirmed with them.
And after she got on the agenda, I called all 4 banks. She is on all 4 banks. Western State Bank here in town. Ed Garner, former commissioner, is still on that, and Lily is not.
So it takes the county treasurer to make those changes.
Right.
And it takes commissioner minutes to show that he was sworn in, that I resigned. I mean, but I resigned back in February.
Right.
We're in the middle of June.
Right.
And I don't.
Yeah, I can see you don't want that
con-
responsibility.
Well, I was concerned as an employee about certain things. Now, as a taxpayer and as a citizen, I'm still concerned about things.
Yeah.
There wasn't accountability before. There's not accountability now. And I'm worried for the county's sake on several levels.
And we share your concerns.
So I wanted to bring it. I didn't know if you guys were aware of it. I wanted to bring it to you.
We was not until this morning, but
Yeah.
thank you for.
Because I don't want that
Well, you don't want any liability
I
on
guess.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know the county doesn't either. I mean,
Right.
I'm not an employee anymore. I shouldn't. And
Yeah.
and whereas if maybe I was fired, it would have been more of a priority versus me resigning. But when you're talking taxpayer money,
Either way, it was
It's-
something that needed to be done.
yes. So, as a concerned citizen, I would like it done now.
I agree.
So, I mean, you guys can worry about Willie and Ed, but I want my name removed.
Okay. And again, we're going to have to, that has to go through Dolores, correct?
Right, Dolores is the one that handles the changing on the accounts, and as Dawn is saying, that should have been done immediately. And
Yeah.
thank goodness Dawn is an honest person.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, but it also, in the back of my mind, brings up what else hasn't been changed.
True.
I would think this would have been priority one.
True. We do have a department head meeting scheduled for next Friday.
Okay.
And so we will take that opportunity to have some discussions regarding these concerns.
Yeah, because I guess I could try all my usernames and passwords to see if I can still get into stuff, but I wonder, because this wasn't done, what else hasn't been done?
Well, the checks that I've been signing, are they still valid then?
Yes, because they're through First National, I believe, so.
But if there's any county business out of Western State, which there is at some point, they wouldn't be. So like I said, I was concerned as an employee on many levels, and I still am concerned.
And rightfully so. If you come across anything else,
Okay.
please let us know as soon as we can. And
Yeah.
we'll work towards getting this resolved.
I mean, it's as simple as one phone call and him emailing minutes.
Right.
I mean, it's not earth shattering,
Or an
it's simple.
overwhelming task.
Yeah, it's not. It really is simple, and especially given my resignation letter and all of the things that went down, all the blame, all the
You thought that'd be the first thing.
So,
I
Dawn,
just-
are you requesting a specific motion from the commissioners that you be removed from the accounts?
I don't
or-
think that I need to request a motion.
I don't think so either. I think it just is an automatic.
It should be an automatic, yes. I didn't think you guys were aware of it, because I figured if you guys had been aware of it, you would have taken some action against it. So I wanted to make sure that you were fully aware of the fact that, and I'm glad Scott did some research on his own to confirm.
Well, I was worried that Willie had not.
Yeah. Well, and I know when I was here, there was some issues with getting Willie added, and I didn't
Yep.
think that they had been resolved, and obviously they haven't been resolved, which,
Because I was worried because the checks he had signed.
right. So,
But
Well, if you feel comfortable or feel that it may be appropriate, could you go and check on your username and password
sure,
and see,
sure,
so that we know the status of that too?
sure.
I'd appreciate it.
Because I had access. I know that I don't have access for First National Bank because you have to have a token. And I turned in my token, and I personally went into the bank and requested from Carla Lampe to be removed because my personal email was tied to that account. So I would get account alerts and bank statements and all of that on my personal email. And I went in and I personally stopped that because I did not want that. I just didn't want that
Yeah, and I could
at
see
all.
that.
Especially given, like I said, given the circumstances of my resignation, I just didn't want any gray area. So I know I stopped that. So that, but I can check Bank West and Western State and some other things.
So that way we know exactly what, so that we
Needs to
can
be
monitor
done.
to make sure it's done.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I would think asking the treasurer too, what have you changed? What needs to still be changed? There should be some accountability on her end too, because she is a county employee. I would think that you guys could ask that of her as well.
Yeah.
What have you done? What have you not done? Versus relying on me to tell you what isn't
Come in
done.
after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely can do some logging in and see what I can
Well, I can
do, but at the same time, it's not my job. I'm not.
But we appreciate the fact that you
Right.
do recognize this could be a problem somewhere.
Well, yeah, and like I said, from a concerned citizen now, I worry about the privacy of county accounts and county business. I know it's taxpayer dollars, so it is somewhat public information to begin with, but
Right.
given the privileges that I had from working in that office and now not working in that office and still having those privileges.
Well, we
Isn't
appreciate
awesome.
we appreciate your concerns. We really do.
So.
And honestly, if you find anything else, let us know,
Okay.
and we will work on the rest.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I wanted to
Okay.
make sure it got handled because
Yeah.
I don't want that. So I know for me personally, I will be checking with the banks to see if this is done. But I'm assuming in the next couple of commissioner meetings, it'll come up too that signature cards have been signed, and
Yeah. I guarantee that.
It's a priority for me to get this done.
Okay. We will work on it.
Okay,
Thank you, Dawn.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you guys.
Rod, I think we're ready for you.
Thank you.
I called Scott, I said I probably should get back on the docket, so he agreed. Let me kind of update you, we did go to Sherman County, I visited with them, and they was very receptive of this idea. They said makes sense to them to kind of share the cost, and they said this is probably one of the best bargains from a county standpoint, investment for tourism that they could do. And so they was in the process because the lady there is going to have a baby, so they was ahead of schedule on doing their budgeting and said, yeah, we'll just include it right in the budget. They said we will probably round it up. I'm assuming it would be up to 6,000, but I don't know the final number. I met with the Wallace County Commissioners last week, and maybe it's first this week. It was first this week on Tuesday, and they said this is such a good project. We're going to go ahead and send you money for this year too, because we feel like it's real important that this byway goes forward. So, what I guess I'm asking, if I could get you to finalize and agree to fund whatever amount you want to from Cheyenne County. And like the lady down in Wallace County said, it'd probably be the smallest line item on our budget because the others are so big. So, any questions since our last conversation?
What were we figuring?
I'm sorry.
How much were we figuring?
$1 per person.
$1 per person, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Which, and Rod mentioned this last time we was here, as of right now, and I'm on this committee, there's no stable funding at all. Right now, the only funding we have is fundraisers that we're doing. We're still trying to work on the 501c3 for donations, but we have not got it yet, even though we do have people lined up to make donations. We're just hung right there. So the last meeting we had, the banks busted. And if we want to continue to see this tourism flourish, the Land and Sky Byway has got to have some sort of funding. It's just because the people that have been doing the most work really haven't been paid for quite some time.
Oh, no. Terry's a pretty good cook, by the way.
God, my hands hurt after that. I scooped so much spaghetti, my fingers hurt. But anyway,
Yeah.
if we're going to survive, if we're going to move forward, which Helen Dobbs is doing a fantastic job of promoting all three of these counties, and the Big Kansas Roadshow was a success. The more people we can get out here, the more dollars they're going to spend here. So I think it's real important that we keep this going.
Well, and Rod called in to get on the agenda. I called Sherman County. They approved $6,000 and Wallace County approved $1,500. So.
Well, you know, Rod, our budget's pretty cloudy until
Well, I know.
until June, July,
Yeah.
somewhere in
Yeah.
there.
What is the status on that, Scott?
I was just gonna our audit, they're still waiting for stuff from Dolores.
So we don't know where we're at.
We truly don't know where.
Well, that's fine, and I understand it, and there wouldn't be any funding anyway until January, so it's, you know,
Right.
just to get on to get on the budget, and if indeed you can find a place for it, I appreciate it. Because I understand the delay in that. Just had to be, Wallace County said, we've got some money we can give you now, and so.
And
Imagine like Sherman County, they have that bed tax over there.
I don't know where it's coming out of, I have no idea.
You know, they have a bed tax at their motels and.
sure, it's a win-win all
And
the
so
way around.
they're probably pulling that money out of that bed tax, which has to be spent on.
It's that type of thing.
What
Rod,
about the Parks and Recreation Fund? That special tax?
last year was $8,000.
That was given to the
Given
Fair
the Fair
Board, but I
Board.
thought there was still money left in there. We didn't give it all.
I thought you did.
I thought we did too.
I think we need to maybe take a look at that. See if
Rod,
that might be an
we'll-
option.
Yeah.
We will find a spot somewhere.
Yeah, we'll find it.
All
We'll
right.
find something, because not just because I'm on this committee, but I think it's important. The more people we can get here, the better off we are.
Yeah, I know at the conversation down in Sharon Springs, one of the comments was it's a good thing, it's three counties working together out here, which in itself is a good sign. I mean, that's really that.
Well,
And they
because
also,
The future of western Kansas relies on we're
Yeah.
going to have to help each other.
that's what they said. And
That's all there is to it.
and I personally think just the fact that the county's funding in it is an endorsement, which opens up a whole lot of doors for other additional funding. Because in the Hanson Foundation and the other type of things are more apt to say, okay, this is really more than one, you know, it's more than a one-legged stool. It's really kind of doing so. That's all I needed. If you can find it, if you don't, it's not life or death. Nobody will die.
We'll come up with something.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Rod.
Thanks, Ron.
Let's see, and Reed's not going to be here.
Oh, I get Eric down here, I think.
Yeah, we served 2 meals to the BAK bikers. Wow, that was work. But we shared it with the cheerleaders from Goodland, and they were fun. I mean, we had a good time doing it, so it was all right.
And Reed, as discussed earlier, his son was injured. I received a text that says I won't be there. However, they have all the info if they want to discuss. So.
Amanda and I will be having a Board of Tax Appeals hearing next Friday afternoon. Mr. Wright, when he redeemed his properties from the tax foreclosure sale, paid those taxes under protest and appealed it up to OTA. And so we will be on the phone all afternoon next Friday to handle that hearing.
Let us know how that turns out, especially the demeanor.
We will.
Hi, Eric.
Waiting on me.
Patiently.
Sorry. Scott should have sent the message sooner. It's his fault.
Yeah, we're ahead.
We're running way ahead.
I was gonna say. I was like, I looked at the clock. I thought, man, did I lose an hour?
We, Roger and I are in a hurry to get out of here.
Oh, well, that's understandable. I got a couple things. First, EZNet. We made the cut over with EZNet, which doesn't probably mean nothing to any of you. I can get you some literature on it if you really want to know. It's the state gateway hosted solution for 911. They've changed the title of it to EZNet, so we no longer have camera trunks. It makes a little sense to you probably. It's all IP based now, which is good.
Yeah.
So with that, the state has asked us to have some redundancy put into place. I've signed a redundancy with Rollins County, so if this PSAP is ever unable to take a call, our calls just roll over there automatically. Same way with them. If they're wiped off or whatever, we'll take their calls. We have radio comms backing that up, phone backing that up, emails, stuff like that. So the state's basically split north half, south half, kind of down the middle. If the north half is dead, they want us to have something in the south half. So out of the blue, Barber County contacted me about 3 weeks ago and asked if we'd done anything. I said, no, we hadn't yet, because I really didn't know where to begin. She said, well, you want to do this? Sure. Barber County's.
We should just go to the map and
Yeah. She said, I didn't really know where to start, so I just started at the top left. And I'm like, lucky you. You got the best county in the state. So we're going to do that with Barber County. I don't see any problem with it. We're working on a radio channel, common radio channel on the state system now.
through the 800 system.
Yeah. And so I think South Central 10 is what we're going to end up going with. And it looks
So
like
next, they're gonna say if the entire state goes dead, then we need to have Colorado as our backup.
Colorado's about 10 years behind us on this. They don't know what's going on. So it's a good thing. I mean, there's been a couple times already that the north half was down, the south half wasn't, and at least somebody would get the phone call, That's
Yeah, 'cause
better than
before it was
nobody.
just going into space.
Yeah,
I mean,
it just rang and nobody answered.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have somebody answer it than nobody. So I'm going to get her some paper maps sent down there. And, just the redundancy part of it's pretty good. So
and there's no funding requirements with this.
no, it's just a signature that says you'll take our calls if something dies. There's no liabilities or anything.
Yeah.
We don't sign off on liability, so we don't want that. They don't want that, so it's just more of somebody answers the call and they will do their best to help,
And you do have the capabilities on that upstairs?
Yep.
Yeah, this new radio system.
Well, 911's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, if Wichita died right now, they could spread that out over 6, 10, 12 counties, and every county could take a certain call for a certain area, and it's amazing. And we could actually map to Wichita.
Really, you
Yeah.
can bring up like a map from Sedgwick County. That's pretty cool.
It should, all calls should actually do it automatically.
Now
So-
Cody was showing me the office over there. That'll be able to take all that too?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not for the 911, not a PSAP. They're not trying to make it a PSAP, so.
We do have radios in there now, so we do have communications in there. Because it was just dead in there. No phone, no radio, because of metal.
The backup PSAP is at the emergency building.
We actually, it's up there right now because we've used it a couple times in the last year. So we've got that briefcase, which is called
Yeah.
a briefcase.
Yeah.
We've got it, and we're actually trying to get another one, and we were going to take it to Bird City so we could spread it out across the county. So,
A good idea.
and it's more of a paging PSAP than anything. So, and then I just need 5 minutes of executive session for non-elected.
Okay. Do you have a motion for 5 minutes of executive session?
So move.
A second.
All those in favor? Aye.
I wrote down this one.